Of course, the Spriggan pops in just as we're getting started on our current fight. I don't actually want to fight both of you at once, so let's use the stairs to split up our encounter here. Only deal with these buddies one at a time. Yeah, like a courtyard. You said you're unlucky. Is that one supposed to be harder? I don't know if it is technically harder, but I've definitely just seen my fair share of difficult scenarios and encounters in there. Yeah, it's a new ending with the Titan. Yeah, in the very center you will find a Titan, indeed. But no, I definitely have just struggled, not so much with the center area, because usually by then you've cleared out a decent amount of the floor, but in those hallways filled with water, I've just had plenty of characters very nearly meet their end. So I don't even know if it is unfortunate, Cassiopeia, but to me at the very least, anecdotally, I've struggled in the past. Start reciting a little bit against these buddies. What do you have on you? A great mace and a dire flail. Okay, at least nothing enchanted. But Eden's still can hit real hard. Let's daze them real quick with a bit of a recite there. Head back to our stairs. Heal up. Jeez Louise. These treasure vaults are always a wee bit tricky, to say the least. Tengu Reaver shows up. Fortunately, that's a lot of different types of elemental damage. I mean, we have decent protections across the board. Vitalization, like we mentioned earlier, won't save us against this Venom Bolt damage. Will prevent the poison from hitting us, but unfortunately, we still take the full 3d21. So between that and Corrosive Bolt, I'm a little bit scared of you, Tengu Reaver. Especially with their high ability to dodge our flail. Oof. Well, at least they're on their own. So let's head down, start reciting. We do immediately get corroded. So I'll head up, scratch that, reset, and hope that we get mostly cold and fire. Fortunately, there we go. We get the showcase of that Venom Bolt effect we were talking about. I mean, we didn't have Vitalization active, but without the resistance to poison specifically, that does hit pretty hard. I think we will Vitalize. We'll recite once more here. Let's reset, try our best. Much better. Perfect. Never any harm in just backing out of a fight for a few moments, resetting, resettling, and going in for another go. Ooh, what did we pick up? Amnesia Scroll. Let's switch back to Curari Darts. Much better for us here. And onwards we go. Of course, the Spark Wasp hopping around real quick. We also... Oh, we cannot use a Box of Beasts. Really? This is evil. Huh. I guess it makes sense. It's like a mutant beast and stuff. Well, that's good to know. Zin disapproves, so let's not touch that, I guess. Not today. That is too bad. That is one of the evocable items that I generally enjoy using. It gives us some safety and protection in a lot of scenarios, but if Zin isn't happy with it, then who are we to say no? Zin knows best. Okay, and let's take out Spriggan Berserker here before we get too much damage coming in from the backside, and just barely make it through that fight in one piece. Oh boy. But a Flayed Ghost on its own shouldn't be too much trouble. Indeed, we are fine. Perfect. No, people just will not leave us alone. Having a hard time coming back up to full health. Do not need a Ring of Fire, so we will ditch that for the time being. Yeah, Cassiopeia, let me know how your Shoals 4 goes. Wish you the best of luck. Immediately get tormented down half our health. Hate to see it, but there we go. Tormentor is blasted by Zin's holy word. Not too bad. We'll then just run away. Fortunately, the buddy right in front of us isn't too much trouble, so we are able to walk away no problem, kill off the Ice Devil, and let's try and settle this down. You're wondering why the character seems so underwhelming, then you notice Zin and Invocation's title. Yeah, we grabbed Zin off of a Faded Altar, and we're trying our best to get a handle on getting through, but definitely going a bit rough here. Not ideal to say the least, but I believe we can get through in one piece. If we really wanted to, we could also switch to one of the other good gods. I guess the Shining one more specifically. It's not great. You're engulfed and can't cast spells. Oof, yeah, that definitely is a bit of a struggle. We were dealing with that earlier this run where I really needed to read some scrolls and had to risk some turns in dangerous situation against water elementals. Shoals is always a bit of a kick in the butt. Such a tough branch to get through. I mean, if you are able to, you definitely get some good stuff out of it, but you gotta survive in order to take advantage of that. You haven't used a Faded Salt Altar since you got a D1 gym yet? Yeah, I think in general in this series we've been staying away from them, but we couldn't help it on this run in particular because very early on we had just the luckiest survival on D2, I believe, on this run. And so in a bit of excitement, while the adrenaline was pumping, somebody in chat suggested that we take that Faded Altar because, hey, if we got that lucky in the fight, how could we possibly get a bad roll off the Faded Altar? And it's been fun. I was mentioning earlier on in the stream today that I've enjoyed trying out Zin because they're a deity that I've never worshipped in any run. And so it's always good to get a bit of a handle, a bit of experience, trying out something new. And despite being, yeah, slightly underwhelming in some regards, I've still enjoyed Zin a lot. If just for the thematic nature. We'll see how the rest of the run goes to see if I continue feeling that way throughout. Hello, friends. Is that a Reaver or a Conjurer? A Conjurer. Don't love fighting with a Zot trap in my vicinity, but can at least bring the Rakshasa upstairs, take them out real quick. And now we're in a bit of an interesting situation. All of our stairs are in this one area, so we're going to have to do our best to fight through. Your most recent win was with Zin, Cassipian. You liked it? That's good to hear. Maybe, just maybe, we can turn that into some fortuitous luck on our end and show just how strong Zin truly is. And you mean Sanctuary is the bomb? That's another place that I can't argue with you, Safid. It has gotten us out of trouble so many times already in this run. Okie dokie, we're just about cleared through the entrance party here, which turned out to be a bit of a lie as even more monsters start crawling in from afar. Well, just take a sip of our drink and get ready to face the horde here. At the very least, just let them all slowly but surely make their way to us. We've been managing to avoid that Zot trap for the most part until that Conjurer's summon stepped on it. You fool. But that's fine. Let's just bring all you lovely folk upstairs, take you out little by little. Perfect. And now we should be just about clear. Love to see it. So the depths trawling continues. Haven't found too much in terms of items that we desperately wanted and needed here, but we still have some floor to go, and we're feeling good. You don't like Zin because with most other gods, the experience that would go towards being able to Sanctuary goes to being powerful enough to make sure you're not in need of Sanctuary in the first place, or give you offensive abilities that achieve the same result. But you're not a Zin fan, to be honest. I definitely can understand that. There's a cool blend in this game between offensive and defensive capabilities and how different players handle and deal with being strong in one of those departments. And I think that's part of the fun of it, is that you can have very different playstyles from each other to varying degrees and results. Super cool. Okay, Okay, let's start reciting as we walk our way back. You're hasted, so you're gonna be hitting us. Yeah, we are in kind of the danger zone here. I mean, if we pop down, we're out of sight of the dragon for at least a turn. So it's just the hasted vampiric knight that's the main concern. It's rough. I don't want to sanctuary unless absolutely necessary. But I'd hate to make a single move here and die because of it. Let's go with the heal wounds. Yeah, no, that was not the right call. Let's see. Do I want to risk it once more here? Unfortunately, this dragon was breathing through the vampire knight. I mean, 13 and 50, or 33 rather, and 15. As long as we roll half decent on our AC, that shouldn't be the end of us, but we do have to survive making it to the stairs as well. So, we've been talking about it so much here. Let's just play it safe. Let's not end this run in an embarrassing fashion, at least not yet, shall we? And we will use Sanctuary there. We still have enough deity to do it once more in the future if necessary. And let's just try and reset this real quick. Hello friend, come upstairs with me, please and thank you. Perfect. Break this off into much more manageable bite-sized chunks. Wow, even that vampiric knight is taking a bit more work than I was expecting, so I'm glad that we just retreated out of there. Probably would have been a sketchy situation even if we had managed to survive for the turn. Let's bring our new pals back here, and not too bad. I brought it up briefly, but that kind of dichotomy of defensive versus offensive play, I don't know where I land on that. In general, I know with a lot of the components in this game, or parts of this game, I do find myself leaning towards the defensive side of things. I can definitely see where Zin's abilities are very much a like panic button without any kind of intervening safety protocols. Oh gosh, this is not looking great. That corrosion is really hurting. I'm gonna hope we survive one turn while we read the teleport scroll, and then now we have to survive a couple more turns. Of course, just as I'm trying to make a point, we get absolutely flooded, inundated by enemies here. Hate to see it. Just need a couple turns though. Okay, that pops us out, but we're not necessarily safe. Oh, something died in the background there as we feel more experienced suddenly. Don't mind if I do. Let's try to continue our panic mode here. Hopefully we get out of it in one piece. Can at least reduce these down to one-on-one fights, so that's pretty solid. But it's way closer than I would otherwise like. Jeez Louise. This is one of those scary depth layouts where it's just full of vault areas filled to the brim, each of them, with scary hordes of enemies. So it's not a safe place to be teleporting around. Not really that safe a place to be exploring around in general. Guessing you're not affected, you are not. 3d20 is going to hit pretty hard too. Let's double check one more time. You have no resistances at the very least. Kirari's not going to deal a whole lot of damage, but something like our lightning rod is unavoidable at the very least. Already kind of attracted a bit of a crowd to ourselves. Making a tiny bit more noise wouldn't be the end of the world. Jeez Louise. Not looking ideal here, to say the least. Let's take a few turns, see how the first few rolls go. The Blade Ghost comes popping out. Hate that. I'm gonna go for 37% chance to evade me. I wanted to kill this Quicksilver buddy before getting out of here. So maybe pop a teleport. Then try and kill the Quicksilver dragon. Or not. There we go. Maybe, or they just swap places. Either way. I will start running. Oh wait, our teleport. Oh no, I almost did something really stupid there. And I'm already making horrible mistakes. In that case, let's take a deep breath. Hands off the keyboard. Think about this for a moment. Could keep teleporting, though there are a lot of bad spaces. We haven't even explored any of this quadrant in the bottom left here. We go to the top left. That's not looking too much better. Bottom right, there's a decent amount of semi-safe spots to go there, even though we did leave some hordes of enemies behind. In general, this layout is just brutal. We could try and chain blinks. Looks like this is our path down here, at least ideally. So that would potentially get us out in one piece, but it does take a few blinks to do so. Sanctuary is of course in our back pocket, but I think we only have enough PD for one, which isn't great. So we do want to keep that in mind and be cautious when we use it. Of course, the nice thing about that is it does give us time to read all the scrolls that we could possibly need, stuff like that. But I think I will go for the blink. Then the next blink, or the next step, will actually take us out of sight of that elementalist that was hitting us with airstrike, the air mage here. So, and blink one more time. Hopefully the Spriggans have lost us in the chaos. So we head for the stairs. Don't kill me with rocks, that would be embarrassing. Do take 4 damage or 3 damage as we pop up. That's scary. I don't like that. Unfortunately, it's looking like all of Depths 3 here is going to be equally as frightening. I almost wish that we hadn't started exploring into those quadrants. We could have just exclusioned off the entire area. We know where all of our downstairs are, so could have gone through this level without having to awaken all the treasure troves. But as we can see in here with the Blinking Scroll and the Heal Wounds potion, there is some nice stuff available if we're able to fight through it. And if we can use the stairs to break up these fights into manageable chunks, then I wouldn't mind doing so and getting access to some of those goodies rather. Any other branches open? There is vaults, and actually I do potentially like the idea of heading to vaults before clearing through the rest of Depths here. Alternatively, not a whole lot. I guess Elf as well. So never mind. Ignore me completely, because Elf is slightly more manageable for us. We have to be slightly worried about sea snakes and venomous branded weapons. But in general, with reflection and half-decent shielding, we could maybe make a decent amount of headway through Elf. And that's another place where we can find really good treasure troves that might implicate a better path forward as well. Because if we can get resistances for a certain section of the game, then that's always nice for sure. You got your Black Knight barding in Elf and your Palentonga win? That's awesome. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm hoping that the game doesn't screw us by showing us Black Knight barding on this run of all things, because we've tried so many Palentongas, and this is the only one that's been following a good god who would actually be upset if we used said Black Knight barding. So it would be a bit of an interesting sweet and sour, or bittersweet experience rather, if we happen to find it on this run, but we shall see. Also, I shouldn't be walking towards the end, and instead should have been softening them up with some thrown weapons. That is a rookie mistake here, as I go back to auto-exploring like a fool, instead of paying attention and being as safe as possible here as we continue exploring this floor. And more as we continue to fight our way, I'm looking at the other branch options and thinking that we should head somewhere else. So let's take a break. One too many near-death experiences. Let's just sit back for a moment and try out somewhere else. We could head to vaults. which is going to be similarly scary and dangerous, but at least it would be a bit of a fresh take and hopefully not dealing with this kind of special like treasure vault infused map area. Or we could head to Elf, which, as we've mentioned in the past, we are able to use Recite to its full advantage there, mostly intelligent humanoids. Let's try it out. At least take a peek, no harm in doing so, and we can always just run away if things are looking a bit too sketchy. Especially since we're drained out the wazoo here, so it'd be nice to just get some experience coming our way, replenish our skill points here, see how it goes. Don't need identify scrolls, onwards and upwards. Should potentially vitalize, but I was pretty sure we could take out the Black Mamba before taking too much poison damage, and indeed that did seem to be the case. So we can save that piety for another day here. And we'll definitely use Recite against all of these undead things. Keep a bit of an eye on how much poison damage we're taking there, but again, we'll save that piety. Make sure we get maybe another sanctuary out of it in the future. Now, if all of you could come this way, please, that would be lovely. Not great. We're getting drained more here as well. I guess what we should probably do is switch over to that positive energy ring. Not only would it be nice to resist some of the negative attacks coming our way, but a bit of positivity never hurt anybody. And after the rough last few moments, I wouldn't mind infusing this run with a bit of positive thinking. It's exactly what we need right now, right? So onwards we go. Chainmail poison resistance, not really needed as much these days as it was a while back. So we'll leave that alone. And Francis, you can be affected by Resendzin's laws. Okay, I was worried you'd be too strong. Vitality counters drain, you think? Yeah, I think it prevents it from from hitting you further or getting further drained. But unfortunately, doesn't do anything for our active drain effect, but that is something that's good to keep in mind, so thank you for that reminder. Because I always forget the variety of effects that Vitalization protects against. It's actually a pretty all-encompassing spell. Or ability, rather. Okay, Francis. Whoops. Let's recite in a slightly better position here. There we go. We definitely want to be hitting you the whole time. Perfect. Slightly sketchier than I would like. Probably could have handled that slightly safer, but do manage to take them out, and any unique taken down is a good day. But I'm gonna just stay right here, and you can all come to me, please. Making sure we can take advantage of the one wide corridor, slightly less as these enemies blink out of there, unfortunately, but still not too bad. Not too bad whatsoever. This is definitely going slightly easier than our depths experiences. It's nice to be able to tab fight again, if nothing else. Let's not maybe get too sucked into the fast tab action. Definitely get ourselves killed still. So let's start by reciting. And then, while there's a confused elf blocking the path here, I'm going to take my steps away from the situation. Just walk away, back off, and didn't want to head that way, game. Wanted to head the long way around. As long as this elf doesn't blink somewhere horrifying, we should be safe to get back out of there. Okie dokie, let's reset. We've kicked the hornet's nest. Everyone should be running around a bit, and hopefully that means we can just take on a bunch of 1v1 fights instead of dealing with all these crowds at the same time. The main issue there, of course, is just that these floating or enchanted weapons are fully immune to electricity, so their ally Zephyrmancers are just launching lightning bolts right through them willy-nilly, getting hit by multiple effects at once. Also, you need to take a look at this necklace. Spirit and resistance to electricity. So we could switch to like our Kite Shield of Reflection and bring this on for Spirit Guardian. We unfortunately already have resistance to electricity, so that's not doing a whole lot for us. Still interesting to say the least. Wait, do we still have resistance to electricity? Yes, we do. Okay. Right, because that's our flail, not our armor. For now, we'll probably leave that alone. So it's another thing to take note of. We'll potentially use it in the future. Vampiric Trident coming up behind there. Guessing you were not at all affected? Yeah, I was afraid that'd be the case. But understandable at the very least. Can at least take you to 1-on-1 here. Perfect. Not too bad. Check my phone real quick. Just the weather app telling me about the weather. And geez Louise, not a moment of peace here. Let's maybe head to our stairs instead for healing up, shall we? That way we can at least just get the heck out of there if things go south. And perfect. Onwards we go. Oh my gosh, and it was all worth it. I see a condenser vein, and I am a very happy camper. Oh me oh my. Wait a second. Why is this showing up in red? Zin? No, Zin doesn't like a condenser vein. Why you gotta be like that, Zin? Well, scratch that. Oh, because of clouds of negative energy. I guess that makes sense. It'd be nice if we just could bar that from happening, right? I can still use it, and it's only if I get the clouds of negative energy that Zin will be mad. I'm probably willing to take that bet. Let's at least carry it around. It's a good emergency panic button here. We no longer need straight poison darts. That is good to know, that, and it makes sense too, that if we get negative energy, of course Zin would hate that, but we're safe otherwise. You're like, Zin, we're breaking up, it's not you, it's me. Yeah, unfortunately at the end of the day, I just can't live without condenser vein. So that's how it's gotta be, and I guess that's just the way it's going to be. I refuse. Spoiler, it was Zin. The only time you've been excommunicated from a golem crawl was using that with Zin. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully not full excommunication, but who knows? Might be worth it in the long run regardless. I'm gonna use vitalization here. Try and prevent from getting too poisoned against the Bardiche. Scary stuff. Zin doesn't get too jelly if you go with another good god. Right? It's getting closer and closer to that time. I wanted to, because this is just a 3-rune run, do my best to try and make it through with Zin as our Lord and Savior, but it's not looking like something that I'm truly happy with. So we could switch over to the Shining one, which is something we mentioned a lot at the start of this run, back 3 Sundays ago or whatever. But I've been, pushing off. It just might be worth it at the end of the day, especially before we clear too much, because upon switching, we will need to regain our piety a little bit. In the Shining one, it's nice to have a whole lot of undead to troll our way through. I guess Crypt is still available. So usually, if you're going to be switching to the Shining one, it's nice to leave Crypt around so you can just quickly zoop your way through there, gathering up all the piety you could possibly need. And as we go here, it's looking more and more likely that we will switch off. Well, let's recite the axioms of law a few more times before then, shall we? At least try to do our best to get as far as we possibly can with our good buddies in. Okie dokie. Where was the distortion? On this halberd? Oh, I hate that. I really hate that. These buddies are pretty hard to kill quickly, especially with their immunity to so many elements here. But don't really want to get abyssed. I mean, we are past level 20. We're okay in terms of strength, so we should be able to get through the abyss, at least back out to safety, even if we did get banished. Guess you're not resistant to acid, right? Just double checking. Didn't think so. Let's go for that then. Unfortunately, with your reach, you'll still be hitting me, which I kind of forgot about. Oh wow, all of our skills are hitting caps left and right here. So let's turn fighting back on in the background for a little bit. I wouldn't mind getting a wee bit more max health here. And then on top of that, what do we wish? Could train up a bit of dodging just to try and alleviate some of the damage that's coming our way. It's nothing that we're going to be able to rely on at any time in this run, don't believe. But it's still not the end of the world for sure. Alternatively, we could get throwing back on and just keep that training up in the background, because those javelins will pack a huge wallop once we get later in the game and start feeling comfortable using them. Omni-dom, hey? Let's do that for now, and we'll try and remember to come back to here in a little bit and reevaluate what we wish to do with our lives. Don't abyss me? Perfect. Never a doubt in my mind. But no banishment today, love to see it. And let's get this shapeshifter between us and the air elemental so we weren't taking lightning bolts consistently and constantly from afar. That's much better. And we'll continue through the rest of Elf now. Cite the axioms of law. Trying to get the most out of Zin before we do most likely say goodbye eventually. And not too bad. So I tab probably a little bit too much here, risking it just a wee bit, but fortunately with our reflective brand here, we're able to kill off most of those archers with relative ease. Ooh, and more shops is definitely appreciated. Unless they don't have much that we'd like. I mean, Potion of Haste, I guess, we'll definitely get a mark for now, and something we'll come back to. Scroll Shop, though. Also not a whole lot that I love. I'll buy the Scroll of Fear, because it's nice having a few of those in our back pocket here, but otherwise, I think we're just going to be saving our money for the time being. Oh, hello, friend. Don't mind me, pardon me. Just ignoring all these things manually here. We should probably just remove them from our auto pickup list rather, save us some trouble in the future. But, time being, stick with it here. Ooh, and a steaming cloak. Might need another source of willpower right away here, because I'm going to check this out, see what kind of artifact we get out of the whole thing, and Cloak of Bad Feelings. Does feel bad, man. Or feels bad, man, rather. Plus invisibility, or evocable invisibility. Not quite what we were looking for there, game. But that's fine. We'll just move on, happy with our lot in life, as we do. Not too bad, all things considered. Especially since we're just about clear through this floor. It seems to be a lot of hallways, and we're not going to be going through the Hall of Blades, so that gets us to, or allows us to ignore a huge chunk of the floor. Perfect, there we are. And now, maybe we'll check out the bottom. We did just hit full pips of piety on Zin. Getting to where I might want to change, because we do get to retain some of our piety levels by switching to another good god here. But maybe let's try and finish Elf, for old time's sake. Hey Zin, remember the good old days? I mean, Sanctuary did save our lives many a time. When Mobile to Squish font made you think it was somehow +9, that would have been something. Oh, I wish. That would not have been quite as much of a bad feeling, to say the least. Because that's definitely something that we're consistently lacking on our Palentonga run here. Some good old defensive capability. As long as you don't switch to an evil god, you don't get the wrath. Yeah. So I guess we could, in fact, yeah, think of switching to somebody anywhere on the Pantheon besides the evil side. But I wouldn't mind sticking with the good gods, retaining some of our piety, especially this late in the game here. Shining One is generally better in places like the extended late game for sure, where you're dealing with a whole lot of evil enemies. But as long as we are in a half-decent position piety-wise, we should still have a few like Cleansing Flames and the like to get ourselves sorted. You're a huge advocate for TSO for 3 runes? Yeah, definitely is a pretty solid deity across the board there. Cleansing Flame, as well as the ability to bring in some allies, is always greatly appreciated. If everyone would like to follow me up here, please and thank you. Perfect. But he can keep 6 piety with a good god. I think it does get reduced a bit. We won't get to keep quite at 6, but we do get to retain a decent chunk of it, at the very least. Unless things have changed, or I'm completely wrong. Either of which is totally possible. The angels are good at all points in the game. Definitely. It's like having brothers in arms, only a bit more like consistent in ally strength and stuff. So that will very likely be on the agenda here. Let's take this Blade Master up on their own here. No point in dealing with a bunch of buddies at once. Angelic Bros indeed, yeah. Brothers in Arms, but even better, which is saying a lot, because Brothers in Arms is actually an incredible ability on its own for sure. Let's not get hit by both of you at once. Even that one corrosion stack might hurt us here. Okay, not too bad. Scary stuff. Go with strength this time around. I was probably risking it a little bit at the end there. I think the Corrosive Bolt might hit with like a 3D low 20s, which meant we were technically in the possibility for lethal, but we of course never didn't have it. Not a doubt in my mind, so all good. Okie dokie. Maybe now's the time that we switch. All this talking about TSO is making me excited for the day. We can try it out. It's tough. It's tough, Zin. I know Zin doesn't mind and will feel good, but it feels bad on some level to betray the buddy who's gotten us this far with us already. Okay, we have to take one step closer before we can charge. Charge in. High priests here are very scary, especially if you're going to start bringing in all your friends as well. Just retreat back to our stairs, and this will become a bit of a common routine here, just making sure we're playing it as safe as humanly possible. Very scary. Anytime we get any source of half-healthing shenanigans, puts me directly into sheer panic, to say the least. Okay, against the Elementalist, if we don't have to travel out to the wide open areas, that's actually pretty nice advantage here, because they aren't able to turn these hard stone walls into their elemental friends. So that's not too bad. Let's drop a quick Bolt of Acid. Fortunately, doesn't quite do the trick. Oh gosh. Hello, friend. You weren't supposed to be behind us. Let's move slowly here, being very cognizant of when we might be a spell away from death. So we get absolutely inundated with Earth Elementals. Don't block my way, please. Perfect. Let's take you upstairs. Not too bad. Oh, my pride is going to get us killed, but I believe in you, Zin. Just wished you believed in me slightly more. Kind of acts as this, an anti-magic +6. Fortunately, not quite what we were looking for. Asian ring, much in the same camp. Ooh, what do we have here? Resist poison and resistance to negative energy. Probably slightly better than this ring since we're not casting spells anyway. It's definitely better than our current ring of positive energy, so let's switch those two out real quick. And let's try and find a nice corner to turn to make these buddies slightly more manageable. Perfect. As long as we can roll in, we're not going to have damnation being flung upon us. Dang it, that mighted death mage. Surprisingly scary. Surprisingly strong. Color me impressed. Also, don't use arrows at me, even point blank range. I feel kind of sorry for that, buddy. The Great Mace Undead Hunter. Disrupt and RN. Very cool themed weapon. Unfortunately, not something we'll be using this run. It's two-handed and it's a little too niche against just undead, which we're already relatively strong against thanks to our deity choice. So, onwards we go. Take out these annihilators as soon as we possibly can. Don't want to take too many crystal spears to the face for sure. And interesting. Let's drop paralysis for the mind burst. Fortunately, not a whole lot for us in this treasure vault here. Already got the condenser vein. Box of beasts. Curious how the Shining One will feel about Box of Beasts. I don't know if that's a Zin specific issue, or if it's just evil in general. Obviously, Zin hates mutations, so it would make sense if the mutant monster creating box was specific to Zin here. Just in case, let's maybe go and pick it up, because we're about to head the heck out of here. Oh, what did I pick up on my way? I just emptied my inventory. Trolling through here, I have no idea. Did we find like a single heal wounds? No, we had that. Enchant weapon scroll. That would probably be it. Oh man, Maces of Disruption in D&D are so fun. I've never had the pleasure of getting to use one in any of my sessions. So I'll have to take your word for it, but I can imagine, is it a similar effect where it specifically works against undead constructs and the like? If so, in the right campaign, I could see it absolutely wreaking havoc in the best of ways. But okie dokie. Let us maybe start thinking about our future here. Gonna head to the Shining One altar at the very least. It's on the floor that we come out of, even. If you look at that. And let's take a quick peek. So yeah, still get the lifeguarding effect. We don't get any sneaky attacks, but that doesn't matter. We're not getting any stealth attacks anyway with our current build here. We get some RN, Righteous Aura, so we have the nice reduction to enemy evasion, which is awesome, as well as, I mean, normally it's nice against invisible foes, but we already innately see invisible, so that's not as big of a deal. But where it really comes in is being able to call for blasts of Cleansing Flame and Summoning Divine Warriors. I absolutely love both those. And we can even bless a really strong item with Holy Wrath at some point. Yeah. I kind of hate to say it, but we're really struggling in depths, and I'm sure it'll only get worse as we continue on to Zot and getting through our third rune. So maybe, just maybe, we'll take the swap. I appreciate everything you did for us, Sin. You've been an absolute pleasure. Loved learning some of your axioms of law, as it were. But it's time we move on. We have lost our religion, but the Shining One welcomes us. And yeah, we retain half of our piety, it looks like. So not too bad, but we do have a bit of rebuilding to do here. Let us decide on where we want to do that. We could start chipping away at vaults, hoping that we have a slightly more manageable layout there than our Depths 3, which is an absolute nightmare. Alternatively, we could potentially go for one of our runes. I don't know how I feel about something like slime right now. It's going to be a bit of a struggle to say the least. So instead of mulling it over for all of eternity, let's head to our vault's entrance and take a peek and see how we do here.